Going to revise the second unit of compiler design. These are the topics to be discussed. It begins with role of parser. Parser is also called as syntax analyzer, which is the second phase of compiler. So this is the role of model of parser. The parser will get the token as input from lexical analyzer and generates the parse tree or syntax tree from that particular token, and also generate a particular request get next token to the initial phase, lexical analyzer phase, and the parse tree give us input of the rest of the front end of the compiler. The rest end of front end of the compiler may produce intermediate representation of the particular source program. Throughout all these phases are combined or communicated with symbol table and error handler phases. So these are the steps to be done in parser. It verifies the structure, syntax tree or parse tree, which is generated by the token. From that token, it produces the parse tree or syntax tree, and simultaneously it generates the errors and also performs the corresponding error recovery actions. So these are some of the issues which cannot be deducted in syntax analyzer. So those errors are handled in the next phase, semantic analyzer phase. Those errors are variable redeclaration, variable initialization before its use, and mismatched data type. These are the errors which cannot be identified by syntax analyzer, so which can handled by the next phase, semantic analysis phase. The common errors in each and every phase of the compilers are, these are the sample errors. In lexical analysis, misspelling an identifier, keyword or operator, these are the errors may encountered in lexical analysis phase. Arithmetic expression with unbalanced parentheses, these are the sample errors encountered in syntax analysis phase. Operator applied to an incompatible operand, these are the sample errors which may encountered in semantic analysis phase. So the basic functions of error handler is, it should report the presence of errors clearly and accurately, and also the errors to be recovered quickly, and it should not slow down the processing of the compilation process. So these are the functions to be performed by error handler. Then only the phases can be proceeded with the next phases. The next topic is grammar. Usually grammar is mainly used to generate or describe a particular language. Language is a set of strings. So the grammar is mainly used in these concepts are CFG, that is context free grammar, is a superset of regular grammar. According to Chomsky hierarchy of language, the grammars can be divided into 4 types. Type 0 is also called as unrestricted grammar. Type 1 is also called as context sensitive grammar. Type 2 is also called as context free grammar, which is mainly used in the particular languages. Type 3 is also called as regular grammar. So usually grammar consists of 4 tuples or elements: variables, terminals, protection rules, and a start symbol. So some of the error techniques in error handler options: panic mode recovery, phrase level recovery, error protections, and global correction. In panic mode recovery step, the parser discards the input symbol until it can find a well-formed token. So this technique to be done in panic mode recovery. In phrase level recovery, the parser performs the correction on the remaining input that allows it to continue. For example, we can insert a missing semicolon or can delete an extraneous character in a particular token. The next technique is error production. In error production technique, the parser uses the production rules of the grammar to rectify the error. Fourth action is global correction. In global correction, the parser uses certain algorithm which can be used to find the error to be found in a parse tree or a token, such that the number of insertions, deletions, and changes of the tokens can be made. But these methods are very costly in terms of time and space. The common syntax errors are which can be occurred or encountered in syntax analysis phase. First one is the errors may be encountered in a structure. The structure means a syntax tree or parse tree, and the parser may missing some character, some operator, and also misspelled keywords and unbalanced parentheses. These are some of the errors to be encountered in syntax analysis phase. So the next topic is context-free grammar. CFG also having 4 tuples, variables, set of variables, which is also called as non-terminals. Non-terminals is nothing but which consists of uppercase letters, capital letters. So next one is terminals, capital T. Terminals are the lowercase letters, numbers, operators, epsilon symbols. So these are the terminals. Next one is P. Capital P is a production. It is a set of rules to be placed in a grammar. Last one is capital S is a start symbol. Start symbol is nothing but is head of the main production, first production. So the next one is derivation. Usually derivation is a sequence of production rules which is used to derive a particular string. There are 2 types in derivation. One is leftmost derivation and second one is rightmost derivation. In leftmost derivation, the string is obtained by expanding the leftmost symbol of the production of the particular grammar. In rightmost derivation, the string or input string can be obtained by expanding the rightmost symbol of the production of the particular grammar. Consider this example. This is the grammar. There are 3 production rules in a grammar. E tends to E plus E, E tends to E star E, and E tends to ID. Here this is the grammar. So usually grammar have 4 tuples. The first tuple is variable, which is also called as non-terminal. Here the variables are only the capital E, because the capital E only the uppercase letters, capital letter. So for terminal, there are 3 terminals. One is plus operator, second one is multiplication star operator, and ID is also a terminal symbol. Production, P is nothing but 3 productions, E plus E, E star E, ID. There are 3 production, and a capital S is a start symbol. Here the head of the production is nothing but capital E, which is the first production of the left hand side symbol. So capital E is the start symbol. So here the given input string is ID plus ID star ID for the particular grammar. So by using leftmost derivation, the input string is going to be derived by expanding the leftmost symbol of the production rule of the given grammar. So it begins with second production E tends to E star E. We can derive from any of the given production. So it begins with E tends to E star E. So by expanding the leftmost symbol, here the leftmost symbol in E star E is the first E, which is presented first in the right side of the arrow mark. So we have to expanding the leftmost symbol. So for the leftmost symbol capital E, we have to apply E plus E. E tends to E plus E. So for E, we can substitute E plus E. After that, the leftmost symbol is capital E. So for that capital E, we are substituting ID for capital E. By following these steps, by expanding the leftmost symbol, we can obtain the input string ID plus ID star ID. This derivation is known as leftmost derivation. The same concept, by expanding the rightmost symbol, the derivation is called as rightmost derivation. So the next concept is parse tree. It is a hierarchical structure of the derivation, and also it is a graphical depiction of the derivation. It starts from the start symbol of the given grammar of the production. So here the input string is the same, ID plus ID star ID. So the same in previous leftmost derivation. For this leftmost derivation, the parse tree is drawn. So first, initially we will start with the start symbol capital E. For that capital E, we are substituting E star E. After that, for the leftmost capital E, we are substituting E plus E. After that, the leftmost capital we are substituting id. After that, id is followed by plus. Then plus is followed by capital E. For that capital E, we are substitute id. Then id is followed by star. After that star, capital E is there. So for E, we are substitute id. By expanding the leftmost symbol, because this is leftmost derivation. For this leftmost derivation, we draw the graphical structure. This structure is called as parse tree or syntax tree. Next one is ambiguous or ambiguity. A grammar is known as ambiguous grammar when it produces more than one parse tree or syntax tree for the same input string. Consider this example. For the input string id plus id minus id, we are going to draw two parse tree or two more derivation. Maybe it may be one is leftmost derivation, second one is rightmost derivation for the same input string. Here there are two tree structure or parse tree, but the output of the both parse tree is id minus id plus id. The input string is not changed, same input string, but the tree structure is different. Or because the first one is leftmost derivation and the second one is rightmost derivation. So when there is more than one parse tree for the same input sentence id plus id minus id, then the given grammar is ambiguous grammar. The main condition is for the same input string.